fear about iPhones and something like that, because it changes the model, it changes the language, and it could be the future of cinema. But many things are changed or not.
Yeah, oh yeah, they are. I wouldn't say that the fear is gone, but I would say that most of the people who, I would say that there's an education going on. People are understanding that while the tools may be changing, uh, that doesn't necessarily mean everyone's out of a job. I do miss talking about it. So I'm probably
Yeah,
gonna. This is becoming more of a real thing. I mean, it was not only was it fear, it was also skepticism and perhaps even a bit of judgmentalism about the whole idea of a phone being used. But now that it's becoming more common and films are being announced all the time that are being shot on iPhones or Samsung devices, and it's becoming far more common.
yeah, yeah. How do you see the present and the future of using phones for doing cinema? After the Claude Lelouch, it was the second that said it was the most free experience that I made in the point of creativity.
Didn't he say he wants to do it again?
How do you see the future and the present and the future of making film with smartphones after the declaration also of people like Claude Lelouch and also Soderbergh that revealed that for him doing a film with a smartphone was a free experience, a freeing
I see.
experience.
Freeing experience. Yeah, yeah. Well, my feeling is that, well, I guess it's more of a hope, really, and it's a hope that's being backed up by what you're talking about and what I'm seeing now out here in the industry. I hope that it becomes a non-issue. I hope that it becomes something that doesn't necessarily require conversation. I hope that it becomes basically just another creative choice in the process. Certainly, the idea of the phone being a freeing tool weighs into a director's and a cinematographer's choice when they're making their decisions about what to shoot a film on. But it also comes down to aesthetics, because the camera is going to give you one image versus an Alexa, which will give you another. So I would love it to just be, as part of the conversation, you can now put this option on the list as a serious contender because it provides serious benefits, as we've learned, as these directors who are using it are now making public. So I'm hoping that this becomes part of the conversation and not a surprise to anyone.
And this is a question that I give you from the I think making an appreciation to the friends of Luma Fusion. And when will it happen that we will have a film finished on mobile?
that that hasn't happened yet, has it? Not that I'm aware of.
I don't think it happened.
I don't think it's happened yet. I haven't heard that anyway. But then again, I guarantee there's some, high school senior somewhere or college freshman who's already done it. Maybe the film isn't exactly worthy of distribution, but the tools are powerful enough, and the interest is high enough, and the needs are great enough from a younger filmmaker's perspective who don't have buckets of cash, that I would be surprised if it wasn't already done or being done on a small scale. And those people are now coming up in the industry, so it's not going to be long. I don't think it'll be long at all.
And what about the commercial field and the music video clip field?
Probably faster actually in those, because you're talking about smaller projects with faster turnarounds and less risk. When you're talking about a feature, you're talking about a huge amount of money and tremendous amounts of work from a huge amount of people over vast amounts of time. When you're talking about a music video, you're talking about something that can be shot in a day. So the idea of finishing a day's worth of work on an iPad or an iPhone, that doesn't seem unlikely at all. That seems completely reasonable. So again, I bet that's already being done by someone we haven't heard of yet, but I have no doubt it's already being done.
So the new is that Hollywood Hill has got less fear to the iPhone way to make film, isn't it?
I would say so. I would say fear is being replaced by
Curiosity. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Last question. What about the Taz Goldstein project? What are you doing? The Hollywood Handled is going on. I hope that you will renew your book that was very important for the people who was interested in cinema made with smartphone, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I thank you for saying that. It's funny. It's funny you talk about that because just this past week, I have been revamping the Handheld Hollywood website. I don't know if the book is going to necessarily get an update, but I would like to bring more of my attention back to the website. The website is what originally launched the book. The website has been around for, it's coming up actually, this is the 10th year it's been around. But to be perfectly honest, I haven't been doing much on the site lately. In fact, it's been fairly neglected for the last few years, and there's a very specific reason for that. And that is when I started the website and then the book just a few years after, it's because nobody else was talking about this. Nobody else
Yeah,
was screaming from the hilltops about how amazing this technology is and how many opportunities it opens up. It just wasn't a topic of discussion. People thought I was kind of crazy. But then as the site grew in popularity and other forms of other ideas were emerging, because I wasn't even thinking about journalism, but now that seems like it's the most obvious choice. But for me at the time, I hadn't thought about that at all. It was just about how to use these tools on a film set, and not even as a camera, just as like a filmmaking tool, a device to help you in every aspect. So as more people started talking about it, and every website on the planet, every filmmaking website on the planet started talking about mobile phones, it seemed less important to me that I be screaming about everything that happens because other people are now talking about it. I feel like my mission was complete, if that makes sense.
yeah,
And I was very happy about that. But now, years later, after not really doing a whole lot of it for a couple of years on the website, I kind of miss it. So just I miss talking about it. It's become such a part of everyday life. It doesn't seem quite as magical anymore, but I do miss talking about it. So I'm probably
yeah,
gonna bring the website a little back to life a little bit. And I don't know about the book because that was that was insane amount of work.
yeah. It's insane. It was pioneeristic, isn't it?
It was
Well,
all consuming. It was all
thank
consuming
you.
for a